All I kept thinking was like, if he's dying and he's not gonna make it, like I have to be there with him. So I like stormed my way back there and I was like, oh my God.
Your 2015 crash, take me through what you remember, starting with moments before the actual crash.
I mean, I remember the whole thing. There was a little bit of grass before the wall, and there was no safer barrier on this inside wall. It was just a hard concrete wall. I kept telling myself as I'm sliding, I'm like, pull your feet back. This is gonna hurt, pull your legs back, pull your legs back. Anyway, hit the grass, I close up, I tense up, I get my arms tight, my body tight, my head down, and I didn't pull my legs back. I forgot. So I hit the wall at 90 miles an hour, which was 90 Gs.
That was horrific. That was awful. I was really worried. I think everybody was when you saw the wreck and what happened.
That feeling that day was an open pit in my stomach of, I have never heard that he couldn't get out of the car on his own.
The gas pedal, there's a throttle stop on the bottom of it. Well, it smacked the gas pedal, which smacked my leg, which broke my leg instantly. Like I felt it snap. And then my foot was still on the brake. So while my foot was still on the brake, under impact and everything going on, my foot broke. And so finally when the car comes to a rest and comes to a stop, and you kind of like open your eyes just a little bit, like check your surroundings, like, okay, I'm down here by myself, nobody else is around me. Oh, damn it, there's a fire. So I dropped the window net, and I felt my leg just like kind of dangling there. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to pull myself with my arms and use my left leg.
Kyle and I have this thing that started years ago that I was like, if you wreck, you need to say something on the radio. And so Tony was like, Kyle, are you okay? One time. He didn't answer. Then he's like, Kyle, are you okay? So I just remember, sorry, I get like kind of shaky, nervous talking about it. I just remember ripping out my earplugs and being like, okay, I have to go see what's happening.
So I just pulled myself with my arms as best I could, and that's when the safety workers got there.
I says, how did you get up on the door? And he says, I knew if I didn't get up on the door, it was gonna take an hour for him to cut the roof off, and I didn't want to do that to the show.
And the nurse comes out and she was like, you need to go to the hospital right now. And I was like, can you tell me? Like, tell me something, right? And I'm just beyond panicked.
What are you thinking when you're at the hospital?
So the right leg didn't really hurt. I was like, oh, okay, it's not bad. Your body's in shock, right?
And you have a compound fracture.
Double compound fracture.
Which is like, you know, Alex Smith or Joe Theismann.
Every stop and go, every speed up and slow down with the ambulance was just excruciating pain in the right leg, because now I can feel it going back and forth.
I don't remember walking into the hospital. It was all a blur, and I just remember sitting there and nobody would tell me anything. And I remember I went into the bathroom because I was like, I'm not gonna cry in front of everybody. I'm not gonna do it. And I just sat in the bathroom and I just was bawling.
I'm wondering where the hell Samantha is, because I knew she was pregnant. So I'm like, you guys have to go find Samantha. Just let her back here. Let her know I'm okay, that I'm alive.
All I kept thinking was like, if he's dying and he's not gonna make it, like I have to be there with him. Like, I have to let him know I'm here. And so I like stormed my way back there. And I finally got to go back in, and when they opened the curtain, I realized why they're having me wait. You just saw like a bone sticking out. And I was like, oh my God, you know, like this is like more serious than we thought. First thing he said was, are you and the baby okay? And I was like, we're fine.
Were you concerned your career might be over?
First of it, I was like, I wonder if I can still race tomorrow. And then I was like, there's no chance I'm gonna race tomorrow.
And I looked down and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna second that. That's a for sure.
So then I was like, damn, I wonder if I'm ever gonna race again, you know?
What are you thinking when you get there?
I'm thinking about whether or not only is he might not ever walk again, much less go and be a race car driver and then be a champion.
When I got to the hospital to see him, he's looking square in the eyes to me. I could see the laser focus that he was determined to bounce back.
He goes, watch my toes. And so he had the cast and he had his toes sticking out of the cast. So he's wiggling his toes. He goes, look at that. And I said, did the doctor tell you could do that? And he said, no, the doctor told me not to do that. I said, don't do that. What are you doing? But that man, from the time he got hurt He had one thought in his mind was to come back.
I said it in the hospital to Joe Gibbs and everybody. I was like, I'm going to be back for the All-Star race. It's a non-points race. And so they were all like, yeah, right, whatever, kid. You're high on drugs right now.
And it was important to Kyle to not be in the wheelchair when you gave birth.
So yeah, that was another reason he was bound and determined to come back for the All-Star race. It was also the week that Brexton was supposed to be due. And he's like, I'm not going to let you go into delivery and not be able to stand. He's like, you're gonna need me, and I wanna hold my son, and I'm gonna do this.
What was your lowest point through that whole process of recovering?
There was a point where I was like, I'm gonna make it back. I'm gonna be fine. But you still have those low moments, you know? Like, it's just you and your wife and your little dog, and you're sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden you just start bust out in tears. Like, those low moments, I think they strengthened myself though too, because like once you snap out of that low, you're like, F it, where's the therapist? Like, let's go, you know what I mean? So it was a whole wave of emotions that were just weird.
Sonoma, take me through that race, because that's the one that Ed Laukus, Joe Gibbs, your brother, everybody brought up is kind of almost more significant than the championship.
Yeah, so coming back from injury, being able to get back in the car, you have to stop forcing it so hard. Like, I was wanting to force this movie star type return where I won so early after coming back and it's a miracle, or I'm the best there ever was, or whatever. So I was like, stop being a dumb ass. My leg was fine. I didn't feel anything wrong with my leg, but my left foot, I still had all the plates and the screws in it. So it's still swollen, and I'm like, there is no way I'm gonna make the race on Sunday. Like, it's never gonna happen. Like, I can't do it. So we didn't have a backup driver, so I was like, I'm gonna have to do it. So I was just powering through the last, I think it was an 8-lap run to the finish, and passing the guy here, there, wherever, and I was able to take the lead. And from there, I ran like hell. Like, legend car race, 1999, Kurt behind me, run like hell.
Man, I let him win that race. I shouldn't have let him win that. That one I want back. Then there was that whole flash moment of the accident and his rehab and the journey that he had been on. I underestimated his strength, his ability to pull through and focus. I should have known better. He's a Busch, and he was there to win.
And I remember after taking the checker flag, my foot felt like it was gonna fall off. I mean, it hurt so bad. I had to take my shoe off and just go to victory lane barefoot, and that was it, we won.
I'm like, what are we gonna do? We have this 5-hour flight home. In the freezer, there was old chicken, and I put 2 chickens around his foot with my hair tie, and that's how he sat the rest of the ride home.
Although I know the 2019 championship, you might have been able to enjoy it more. Explain the satisfaction of winning the 2015 one.
There's fans out there, there's historians of our sport that may or may not say that I should never have been eligible for the championship because I didn't run a full-time season. I missed 11 races. When I came back, NASCAR was like, yeah, if you make it top 30 in points and get a win, we'll give you a medical waiver. So I got a waiver, and we won the championship. And I remember going through turns 3 and 4, and as I was coming out of 4, like, there's a tear drop that rolls down my eyes.
Tonight he earns his first Cup title.
Besides my son being born and that emotional time laying in the hospital bed with Samantha in our living room, it was like, wow, this just, I don't know that I've never felt anything like that before. It was crazy.
We're sitting out on the track, and we're holding Brexton and the trophies there, and it was just such a, like, wow, unbelievable fairy tale ending. There's no way he's gonna accomplish anything this year, and then he goes out and wins the championship.